Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston, host of the Sugar Ray Show, here with another incredible episode. Today we have a dear brother of mine, one of my favorite humans, one of my favorite chefs, possibly the favorite. I got a lot of favorites, man, but this guy's just different, man.
Thank you.
Chef Abdul, aka Vegan Kings with two Z's. You can find him everywhere, man. The brother's incredible. I'm gonna read his bio, and then so you guys can know why we're interviewing him and know why you should be paying attention. Give me 1 second to pull a bio up, good people, and I promise you, this interview right here, the way this brother talks about his food and his work, you could taste it without even looking at it. You heard? This is incredible. So I'm very excited, very grateful to have this brother here. VeganKingzz, private chef. Welcome to the vibrant and flavorful world of plant-based cooking. My name is Abdul Rahim. Well, his name is Abdul Rahim. He's a passionate vegan chef with over 20 years of culinary experience. For the past 8 years, he's been dedicated to perfecting the art of plant-based cooking and showing people that becoming vegan doesn't mean sacrificing taste or variety in their diet. His cooking style is a fusion of Italian, African, Caribbean, and Latin cuisines, which allows him to create unique and delicious plant-based dishes that are inspired by cultures from all around the world. By utilizing ingredients like banana blossoms for chicken, jackfruit for pork, and soy-free tofu to mimic fish, he's able to create dishes that are both delicious and healthy. But his love for plant-based cooking goes beyond just the kitchen. For him, it's a way of life, a belief that every small change we make in our own lives can have a positive impact on the world around us. Similar to me, as you guys know. That's why he's thrilled to connect with others on YouTube, on his YouTube channel, his Instagram page, his Facebook page, and Twitter, where he shares recipes, cooking tips, and insights on how to live a more compassionate and sustainable life. So whether you're a seasoned vegan or simply curious about plant-based cooking, he invites you to join in on this exciting journey. Together, we all can create a kinder, more intelligent, and more delicious world, one recipe at a time. Yo, brother Abdul, we connected on Instagram, as you mentioned. Well, you're not mentioning us, but mentioning your Instagram and how passionate you are. And we connected not because you was just a person on Instagram, because I was falling in love with the food that you was posting. Right? I fell in love. I was sharing it with all my friends. I was like, yo, this food looks incredible. We gotta try this. We gotta try this. And then I reached out, and I knew no one who tried your food, but I reached out just knowing that by the looks of it, by your knowledge, by what you were saying, that it would be incredible, and it was. Chef Abdul, thank you for coming on our show today. How you doing, brother?
Yo, I'm doing good. I'm doing so well, man. That's the thing. I figured it out a few years ago when I had my own restaurant that a lot of us eat with our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So if we eat with our eyes, why don't I use, this banana, right? To convince you that it's actually good for you. But how can I do that? Because it's already a banana. So I take this banana and I turn it into something that you remember, and
Ooh.
like we're vegan, right? We're
Yeah,
plant-based.
yeah.
And I just wanted people to come on my page and just fall in love and indulge in it and probably eat the phone while doing that.
Nice.
Because us as people, we all have been eating what our forefathers have left us, our
Mm-hmm.
ancestors left us, which is soul food. But the soul food that was given to us was death food.
Absolutely. Talk about it.
So yeah.
Talk
So
about it. So, yeah, no, so let's go back to the beginning because we're gonna get into all of that, right? So
mhm,
let's go back. So you had 20 years previously since becoming vegan of culinary experience.
mhm.
At what point did you know in your life that you wanted to be a chef, that you wanted to go into, culinary cooking and things like that? How did that develop in you?
um hmm. It's crazy. I was in a shelter. I got kicked out, and I was one of the main chefs. One of the main people that I used to cook, and I already went to school for it. But when you go to school for culinary, they do not teach you the A's and B's of cooking and seasoning. Because when I went to school, I remember, we had to make a cordon bleu, which is the chicken with the ham and the cheese, and then you got to tie it up. So that was one of our exams. So as I got the chicken, because I'm Caribbean, right? So as I got the chicken, I'm washing it with the vinegar and the salt and the lime. And the instructor, he came yelling at me. He's like, "What the hell you doing? You're ruining the meat." And
Mm,
I'm like, "Listen, I'm not eating this unless I wash it, because this is what I was taught." So they don't teach you anything in school. The passion for me began when I started cooking in the shelter, and people were like, "Yo, who made this?" Because I was just making stuff, and people was like, "Yo, who made this?"
mhm.
And then I was like, "Oh shoot, I actually can't cook." Because all my life people would tell me, "You don't even know how to cook."
Oh
You
wow.
don't, yeah, all my life. Like most of my exes, if they even see that I became this big phenomenal dude, like they'll be like, "You don't know how to cook." And the thing is that I didn't know. It's not that I didn't know how to cook. They took so much time in trying to cook for me and not listening to what I was saying.
Mhm,
So, so it started from there. And then when I started to cook in the shelter, I was only 17 years old. And
mhm,
from there, I started cooking and cooking and cooking, and I started to make pies and cakes.
mhm,
And people were like, they were liking it, but I still didn't know what I was doing.
mhm.
But I
So
continued doing it.
powerful. So let's go even before that. Let's go back further, if you can remember.
Mhm, mhm,
What interested you in cooking? So some people, they hang around their parents and they get interested in
mhm.
cooking. Some people hang around their grandparents. Some people just naturally, as children, just like want to try cooking. So at what point, if you can remember, that you were interested in making? Because some people don't cook, period, and they don't like
Mhm.
cooking, period. So at what point, if you can remember, that you had an interest in cooking even before 17?
As a kid, like watching my mom, 8
Ah,
years old, 8, 9 years old, she's cooking and
here
she's
we
telling
go.
me to wash the dishes and
Here we
she's
go.
telling me to chop up the onions and stuff. So as a kid watching my mom in the kitchen, my father died when I was just a kid,
Mm,
and she had to fend for herself and she
mhm,
had to provide. So she would look at me and tell me, "Never let your wife suffer. You always cook if you can." And
mm.
she would show me the ins and outs of cooking, but not really. Coming from a Haitian background with Caribbean, we use so many different seasonings and things, techniques to create these dishes. So she's doing it, and I'm just looking at her, and I'm like, and she would put the music on back in the days,
Yep, yep,
the
yep.
Bob Marley, the Tina Turners, and I'm in the house and I'm looking at her, and she felt so happy, and I was like, I want to feel happy. So what I would do, right? You're gonna laugh, but when I would do the dishes, I would take the suds and make the suds the rice. And I would do yeah, I would plate my dishes in the while I'm washing. So I would take all the scraps and I would plate it. And then I fell in love like from the age of 8 or 10,
Yeah,
watching my mom just create. And I just fell in love with it.
powerful, powerful, powerful. That's what I was looking for. Thank
Hmm.
you for that. So now you went to school, right?
Hmm.
They're not giving you, as you said, the ins and outs of really like how
Hmm.
to do it. They're telling you what to do, but not really how to make it top notch.
Right,
At
right.
what point did you know that you were really good at it outside of school? At what point did you know that now I'm good? I got this.
When I was in a shelter, and
Okay.
those the family, because I was in a women's and men's shelter. I got lucky. I don't know how I ended up there because they was gonna put me in an all men's
Yeah.
shelter, but because of my vibrant personality, I was able to speak to the coordinator, and she was like, "Look, you could stay in the back, just don't say anything." So I would do everything that
Powerful.
I can, and I cooked. Right, one day I made some beef stew with some beans and rice and some salad. So I cooked, and I had everybody sitting down eating, and they eating and they're not talking. Right,
Hmm.
so that's the moment that I knew I could cook, because I would cook for my siblings growing up, but you know how kids are. We like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when they ate and they tried to like break off their fingers, that's when I knew I had the passion. I knew what I was doing, and I would continuously do it. But I kept meeting these narcissistic women and these controlling women that was like, nah, I'm a cook, and they didn't give me the ability to show them what I had. And I did show a few, but they thought I didn't know how to cook. They was like, "You don't know what you're doing."
Got
So
it.
over the time, watching, learning, understanding, I was able to do it. And then what made it get crazy was when I got my own little restaurant, and then the lines was coming, people were buying the food, and people were like, "Yo, who is this man? Like, how did he do this?" And I wasn't vegan then.
Yeah.
So when I became vegan, that's when I had to learn to
I
do
got.
this because
I'm about to go. That's the next
yeah,
question. I got
right.
you. So, what even before becoming vegan, when did you have the thought, right? Because I know some people. So first, I want to go back real quick. So you speaking
Hmm.
about in the shelter, that's something that I speak about often. Not so much the
Hmm.
shelter, but food is good, right?
Hmm.
Especially for like black people, Caribbean people.
Hmm.
When either two things, either we eat and get silent, or we eat
Hmm.
and start dancing, right? So the fact that people ate your food and became silent, that's powerful, right? So now moving forward, right? What was the process for you to become vegan? Because one thing I think I've learned about you since connecting with you is that you're constantly evolving, you're constantly learning,
Hmm.
right? So what was the journey from because I think it's a journey not just to stop eating meat and then eating vegan food, but you're a
Hmm.
chef, so you're only not only stopping for yourself, but you have to stop cooking that food. So what was
Hmm.
that process like for you? What was the thought process going into around I'm cooking this meat? Was it that this stuff is not good for me, this stuff is not good for
Hmm.
people? What was that
Hmm.
process like for you?
It was a very hard process, bro. Like I went through a very deep depression. I became vegan because I ended up in a hospital with
Mm,
670 sugar. Didn't
mm.
know that, I was going to the hospital, like going to
Wow.
get checkup every 6 months to a year. And my doctor would say, "Oh, no, you all right, you all right." Mind you, my cholesterol was off the meat rack.
Wow.
My sugar was I was borderline, but he kept telling me that I'm okay, just drink lots of water, not telling me that I wasn't eating the sustainable foods to sustain my life.
Mhm.
And so they told me that I had diabetes when I went to the hospital,
Wow.
and I freaked out, because here I got a business, I got a wife, I got all these bills, I got responsibilities, and I'm like, damn, what am I gonna do? So we went back home, and then I said to my wife, and I just prayed on it, and I was in silence because when something drastic happens to me, I go into this mute mode, and I just stay in silence. I don't talk to my wife, I don't talk to nobody, because I'm talking to God and I'm
Mhm.
talking to myself. So as I sit there and I'm talking and I'm trying to figure it out, I said to my wife, I'm going vegan. She
Mm.
goes, "What? How you going vegan? We just bought all these groceries." And I'm like, "Well, I ain't eating that chicken. I'm not eating that fish. I'm not eating none of that." So I went vegan, but I was eating cheese, so I wasn't vegan. I was a vegetarian. So I was eating the cheese because that is very hard to get off of, and
It's
then I was
addictive.
able to get off of it. And then when I came off of it, because the thing about being vegan, right? There's so many different vegans. There's the raw vegans, there's the
Mhm.
regular vegans, there's the processed vegans, and this is vegans, right? Or plant-based, whatever you want to call it. So in the beginning of my journey, I started with the processed stuff, the impossible meats and all of the stuff, because I'm thinking that, oh, it's good for you. No, it's not
At
good
all.
for you.
At all.
So so then I had to learn, like, because I'm the type of person that if you look on my page, I'm very original. I don't
There you
like
are.
using other recipes. Like, you won't see me say, "Yo, I'm doing this recipe from such and such," because I refuse to do that. I like to stay original. If I don't have any video to drop, I'm not dropping a video, because I want to stay original to my craft, and I want to be the only one that's bringing it out, and I want to be the one to change people's palates and make people confused. So because when I became vegan, I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to cook. 'Cause to me, vegans were just a people that just ate a bunch of salad, and they was like so tiny, and here I was like 400 pounds,
Yeah.
don't know what to eat. And then I just started mixing different dishes, and then the food that I was eating was making me sick.
Mm.
The processed foods was making me sick. And then but there's another process when you become plant-based. A lot of people don't tell you this, but you have to go through a cleanse.
Yes, for sure.
Remember, you
Yes.
have to, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just went in cold turkey. And the cleanse means, get that burdock root, get all that stuff out of
Yep.
you, cleanse with your herbs, with your bitter herbs, to remove the parasites and fix the microbiomes in your gut. Because a lot of people don't know, but everything starts in the gut. And for us
100%.
to get right, we got to fix our gut. This is why a lot of us suffer from autoimmune diseases, not knowing, because we eating all of this Chinese and this processed
Yep.
crap, that's not good for us.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
all to it's all just to put it out for you to eat it, and it's not good for you.
100%. And you know what's
Hmm.
powerful about that? You mentioning that, I've been vegan 10 years, and it was a journey at first. And you know what's so crazy about my vegan journey is that I started with the not processed food. I started making stuff from scratch.
Hmm.
I started like that. Me and the girl I was with at the time was used to make everything from scratch, right? And then my life changed. I got married, became a dad, and
Right,
stressful situation. And I didn't have the time, I didn't have the patience, I was
right,
frustrated, I didn't have the money. That's when I started getting more processed foods,
right.
and them things are addictive. And it's crazy because I'm always being honest in my journey. That's one of the reasons I had to do this 30-day fast now to
Hmm.
break free from that processed food, because I was eating, I wasn't eating too much. Like I wasn't eating Beyond Burger, I wasn't eating that
Hmm.
stuff, but I was eating like the orange chicken from Trader Joe's, right? I was eating
Hmm.
the cauliflower bites from Trader Joe's, which come in a
Hmm.
bag, right? I was eating, the tempeh bacon, right?
Hmm.
Maple sausage that are vegan, right? So still processed, not maybe
Hmm.
not as bad as the Beyond stuff, but still
Right.
processed, right? But I knew that I was becoming addicted, right? Because that's what it
Hmm.
does. And I knew that I needed to get back to, because I love cooking myself. And I needed
Right.
to get back to original recipes, which is why I reached out and asked about the food processor and the air
Hmm.
fryer, because I'm gonna
Hmm.
get on my stuff, right? I'm definitely gonna eat some stuff from some stores the first couple of weeks, right?
Hmm.
After breaking this fast, on my favorite restaurants, that are pretty good, not processed. But it's important that you mentioned that, because one of the arguments that people have had since I've been on this journey for 10, 11 years now is that there are people who go vegan and they still get sick and die. And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of reasons for that. It's the process stuff, but it's also the fact that you can't just change your diet without cleansing.
Hmm.
Because if you've been eating meat and all of this stuff for your whole life, that
Hmm.
stuff is still in your intestines, it's still in your bloodstream.
Yeah.
If you just
Yeah.
now
For
change your
sure.
diet and put other food on top of that, it's just pushing it deeper into your bloodstream,
Hmm.
right? So now you get sick and you think it's the vegan food, but it's not. It's still all of
Hmm.
the toxins that have been in your body and your gut since,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
how have you, right? Because so now you're on this vegan journey, you make this commitment, you tell your wife you're going vegan. What was if you could remember, what was the first hit dish, vegan dish that you made that made you know then as a vegan chef that now I got this, so we going in?
What do you think? Probably my curry goat. I
Ooh.
made vegan curry goat. So right, babe. I have to ask her because I'm like vegan curry goat. Yeah, because I went deep into the ancestors and I asked within what to do, and they told me what to do.
Mhm.
So vegan
Oh,
goat. Yeah, and then I made curry chicken and I mastered it. I kept
yeah.
doing it until it took me a lot of trial and error. It took me a few months to master everything until I was like, you know what, I got this.
Yeah.
And then I switched over because I was keep trying to veganize the Caribbean food, and then I said, nah, I gotta do American. So then my biggest dish that I made that went viral, and a lot of the vegan influencers out there with money stole my recipe, was when I
Oh,
created the ribs.
oh,
Yeah.
oh no. So what, from being a regular chef to
Hmm.
being a vegan chef, have you had some of the same customers? Like, have they transferred over? Maybe not becoming vegan themselves, but still supporting you, knowing that your food is good. And what has
Hmm.
the response been for them from trying your food, before in your restaurant and things like that, to now trying your vegan food? What has their response been to you now?
They said it tastes the same. They don't know how I did it, that I'm a magician, and they
Yeah,
call me all
you are.
types of stuff. So they said it tastes the same. You were able to do it. And sometimes you got that inner voice, like you don't know what you're doing, man. And it's like it came, but the response was real when people actually was buying my food,
Mm-hmm.
and meeting you. It's crazy because I was in New York and I left. So meeting you just made it even worse. Like you was like, even though I already knew what I was doing, but to meet somebody like you, I was like, yo, this guy's like a prodigy. and he ate my food and the things that he's saying, and I was like, nah, this is crazy. Because sometimes, like I said, we have that voice, like you go to school, you finish, and you want to become and achieve greatness, but you got the good and the evil, right? The
100%.
voices telling you that you're not going to achieve crap. And and then I'm meeting people like you. It's not a lot of brothers like you that's out here reaching out and for community instead of being selfish. You are one of the selfless people I ever met.
Mhm.
And I was watching your video yesterday and it made me cry
Mm,
because I was like, yo, this brother is real. You know how many people I meet that tells me, yo, you're good, yo, you're this, doing that, and all they want was money from me.
of course.
And you just came out, I don't know, man, and I was just like, wow, this brother is amazing. And I mean, I'm years in and I already knew, but I went through so many obstacles of people saying, I don't like his food. Oh, I don't like him. I don't like this. I don't like
Mm.
that. Until finally I'm like, wow, so people actually, because I have people that actually go on my website, go on my videos, make the food and say I don't know how to cook because they didn't make it right.
They didn't
You
make-
didn't follow
absolutely.
instructions. So,
But that's I think that's the I'm glad you said that because that's the key right there. I think
yeah.
even if they did follow instructions, what separates you and partly what separate why we love some of our parents and grandparents' food
Hmm.
is not just the ingredients, it's the love, the energy
Hmm.
that you put into your food. We forget that's the secret sauce. The
Right.
fact that I think I could tell, Lucy Two Feathers could tell that you put deep love into your food, right?
Yeah.
And she knew that when you made, for her birthday, you made the panini, right? You made the Puerto
Hmm.
Rican food that she's missed for years
Hmm.
because it's meat and she's been vegan now, right? So like the fact that you did that, it wasn't just the fact that you made it vegan with the skin and all of that stuff. It's the fact that we could feel your energy, we could feel your love and your passion. That because some people cook, some chefs cook, and it's really them just showing off for themselves, not really with the intention that
Hmm.
I need to make it the best possible experience for this person. Some people
Hmm.
say as long as it's good, but I don't think that's your perception, right? So can you talk a little
Mm-mm.
bit about that, like? What's your process before you even like? So let's say you get booked for a catering gig, you get booked for a gig like with me or something like that.
Hmm.
What is your process going into when you start cooking? Is it a prayer that you do, a meditation? Like, if you could just give a little bit of insight into that, like, what's your process prior to making the food?
I mean, I want to say the process, but I don't want nobody to try to do it and then steal it.
Got
But I'm gonna say it anyways. So what I do is I roll me up some good Mary Jane. I put on some, Afro beats, and I dance around for a little bit, and then my body tells me what to do, and I just start doing it. And I also talk to the food.
Mm,
I tell the food that, you are beautiful, you are wonderful, and you're gonna make this person happy. You're
wow.
gonna change this person's life. So I do talk to my food because I feel that what I'm giving you, I won't cook if I don't feel good, I won't cook for nobody. Because I feel like whatever I feel is gonna go into the food. So when I'm cooking, I cook with good intentions. I want the person to eat the food and go back to when they was a child and they ate
Ah,
that food. I want you to have that nostalgic moment like, yo, I know he didn't just make this fried chicken. How did he do that? I know he didn't make these collard greens. How did he give me that turkey, bacony? How did he do that? I want to do that because a lot of these vegans out here and chefs, they're just cooking because they want to cook to make money. But to me,
exactly.
it's more than that. It's more than making money. It's about changing somebody's life. It's about making something that's like a person that is blind and you allowed them to see. And this is what I want to do with my food. I
Powerful.
want you to eat this, you know, and say, wow, it tastes the same. So, did we need the animals? No, this whole time we didn't need it. You don't need eggs for mayo. You don't need a chicken to create something chicken. You could use mushrooms, you could use banana blossoms, and if you want, you could use tofu. A lot of people don't use tofu, but you could use that. You could use seitan. You could make it yourself. I personally don't eat the seitan because it really bothers my stomach. It's all that gluten. It doesn't make sense to put gluten on top of gluten. You ever
Yeah.
see some of these people making these fried chickens and then they put the bread and then they put the gluten? Bro, you just put bread on top of bread. I refuse to do that. So I try to stay away from it. But I don't hate it. You know, I don't talk about it because there's people out here. Why you eating tofu? You're gonna get man boobs. And I'm like, listen, that's not true. That's
Yeah.
not true. There's so many misconceptions in food
Uh-huh.
that we all sit down and want to say. And then people go, you're vegan? Because you kind of big. And I said, I'm not big. I said, I'm solid.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I don't eat. I was all right. So I'm gonna give you a joke, you know, while
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody's on here, because I have to give this joke to everybody. So I'm a manager in my job, right? In a restaurant consultant job, right? So I said, I'm gonna buy everybody pizza. They're not vegan, right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. Forgive me. I bought them pizza. So I
Mhm.
bought everybody pizza, right? So we're all sitting in the office, and then one of my colleagues she said, "Oh, this pizza's good." I said, "Yeah," and I said to her, "It's vegan." She goes,
You tricked them.
they go, "But I'm allergic to vegan," and I said, "You are?" I said, "You had some watermelon this morning. That's vegan.
Vegan.
The drink that you're drinking, you drinking a peach fruit punch drink. That's vegan." And
Rice and
she just
peas.
looks at
Vegan.
right. She looks at me and goes, like she felt, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm not here to make people feel stupid. I'm
At
not
all.
here. I'm here to educate, and
Yep.
I'm here to teach us how to learn and unlearn and learn again, because a lot of us
Powerful.
don't, we don't do that.
Powerful. No, powerful, powerful. Thank you for that. I want to go back to something you said. You said you want to make food that makes people remember their childhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so crazy because, as I told you, the last food I bought from you, the mac and cheese with the collard
Mm-hmm.
greens and the candy yams and the chicken, is because I woke up at 2, 3 in the morning and I was
Mm-hmm.
like, yo,
Yes, sir.
I want some food that reminds me of my childhood. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew exactly who to reach out to, right? And mind you, humbly, like, no shots at them, but I got friends who are great chefs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, it's just everybody's different. And I needed something that wasn't just good, that didn't just make me feel good, but that literally brought me back to something my dad used to make, my aunt used to make, that I used to love, right? The soul food, that Sunday soul food, that
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving food. That's what I told you. I want black people Thanksgiving food, right?
Yes,
That's
sir.
black people soul Thanksgiving food. And you delivered. You delivered, and I mean, I knew it was going to be good, but you exceeded my expectations. And I consider myself a foodie, right? Like,
Thank
I
you.
travel different places for vegan food, right? Supporting different businesses because I'm like, I really love food and I want to try, right? And so yeah, you with you saying that, you absolutely have done that with me. You've done that with, my partner, Two Feathers, making her remember her childhood through the Puerto Rican food that you made. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we look forward to continuing to get more food from you. So let's move forward a little bit, right? Let's talk about, so now you're a vegan chef, you're building this business, you're building this brand, everybody knows VeganKingzz, you're blowing up, right? You have a recipe book, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You have a recipe book that people can purchase. How do you, if you do, how do you differentiate, or how do you choose which recipes you put in a book? Do you put everything in there, or do you select certain recipes? Do you keep certain ones to yourself? How do you make that distinction of what to give out or what to keep just for you?
You know what's crazy? No chef, right? No chef gives the truth. And, and I don't mean this in any way, but I feel that we don't, because even though I made the book, I'm still, I got, I don't mean to say this, but I got a little disappointed at the book, because I was like, damn, I made this book and I'm teaching people how to do this, but then I know the real technique of it. And if they don't follow the technique, you see, if I don't physically, and I feel bad, because which I do have a video with the book showing people how to make the meat, but you need to actually physically be in front of me. I need to make a live and show people how to do it, because if I don't do that, you're still not going to get it. And then it's all about the seasoning. You have to put the seasoning. Yeah, I told you to put 1 teaspoon, but did you really? I mean, come on. You know, you gotta learn the tricks of the game. And
Yeah.
I don't think no any chef that writes, we just write books because people ask us to. You
Definitely.
know, like that's why I did the ebook. I did it because people asked me. I have another book coming out which is free, and it's gonna be teaching a lot of little tricks that I show people what to do. I'm just here to just to teach people, because the thing is that, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but people steal your ideas
Of course.
and use it for their gain.
Of
And
course.
it's hard because a lot of people will write me, yo, you didn't tell me what you did and this. And I just look at the message and I try not to be, you know, rude about it, and I just politely say, this is what you do, but trying to keep my craft, because like I said, there's a magazine out there called Vegan News. I saw my rib recipe on that blog, and it was given to this female, and I'm looking like she didn't make that recipe. I
Wow.
made that recipe. And the recipe went viral, and yet I'm still stuck here and nobody knows who Vegan Kings is.
No,
Nobody
crazy.
cares. I'm one of the most authentic
Yeah, you are.
vegan chefs
Yeah,
out
you are.
here,
Yeah, you are. Without
and
question. Yeah, you are.
right. And these people are like, and it, and a lot of people see it. And when I get, listen, when I hit where I need to hit, people gonna be like, oh man, I slept on that guy. Yo, I should have worked with him when I had the chance.
Yep.
You had the chance, but you didn't.
Yep.
And me as an empath, I feel the vibrations from other people, and I
Hmm.
know how people feel about me.
Hmm.
So I keep myself grounded and stay away. But that really hurt that they took my recipe, because I don't care about it because I don't eat that no more. I took impossible meat, I mixed it with jackfruit, and I put my own little barbecue recipes and stuff in it, and I created the vegan rib, right? And now what I did was I took a candy cane and I put in it to teach people. You know how much? Listen, I don't mean to say this, but so many different cultures. Number one, we all know who's the top making money in this social media world. Caucasians. They stole my recipe,
Yeah.
they put it out there, and it's not fair. And now guess what, this black boy from the hood, he can't get his rise, he can't get his awards, because everybody done stole my recipe and said it was theirs when it wasn't. The reason I made that recipe is because I don't like gluten, and a lot of people was using gluten
Yeah.
to make the ribs, and I didn't want to do that. And I see a lot of big chefs and restaurants are using my recipe and not giving me, like I said, you don't have to pay me, but at least shout me
Give me
out so
credit.
people
Give me
look up.
credit. Shout me out. Get
Right.
credit with credit
Yo, I
too.
got this joint from Vegan Kings. He did this and I didn't know. Some people do, some people don't. Now, watch my vegan lamb chops go everywhere. People's gonna be like, yo, how did he do that? I had people call me like, how did you do that? How did you get the stick to taste like that? I marinated the stick for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm here and I'm going into my little, like, I go into these, like, yeah, I go into this thing, like, and then I just start creating, bro. And it's just like a lot of people use banana blossoms for fish. I don't do that. I use it for chicken, because when you eat the banana blossoms and you open it, it looks like chicken. Remember, I want to mess people brains up, right?
Yeah, you did.
I want you to think that you're still eating chicken instead of going to the lab, because
Yeah.
now they got the lab meat coming out, and I'm like, yo, everything that these people are making are killing us.
Yeah,
Because
man.
remember, to keep these things on the shelf, we have to put things in it to keep it because remember, once you put it on the shelf, if you don't get it processed in a way, it will go bad. So
Yep.
they're putting things in it, which in the end is gonna cause cancer. It's gonna
Yep.
cause depression, anxiety, and we
Yep.
have to understand we got to be careful with what we eat. I get it. We're not eating the actual chicken, but if you think you are, what's crazy? Like one day I was in my store, and my grape juice ran out, right? Because I used to make my own grape juice. Like how back in the days the Kool-Aid drinks, I used to make those. I used to make grape, blueberry, raspberry, fruit punch. So one day my grape ran out, right? So you know what I did? I was like, yo, I ain't going to the store. I took blueberry and fruit punch and I mixed it, and it became grape. So I
Oh,
was selling it, and yo, bro, let me tell you, people was coming in and saying, yo, this is good, this got better, yo, this is the best grape. And I'm saying to myself, you people eat with your eyes, not with
yeah.
your mind, because that's not even grape. I just took blue fruit punch, no, a blueberry, some blue drink I used to make with
Yeah.
fruit punch, mixed it, made it turn purple. So automatically they thought it was grape, but it was never grape. And this is when I knew that it was a fact that we eat with our eyes. When you go to McDonald's or Burger King, those pictures that you see, that the burger don't look like that. When you
Hello,
get the burger, right, it looks like trash. Mind you, I'm also a photographer, so
Mhm.
I know how to make the food look good and
Yeah, you
make you want to eat
yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So, yo, that's crazy. So first, I want to say that it's absolutely tragic that people stole your recipe and use it as their own,
it.
didn't give you credit.
Hmm.
And then I want to encourage you and remind you that what's stolen, what's lost, shall be regained.
Hmm.
Right?
Yes, sir.
People who still don't have everlasting success, right? And I'm a person that if I believe in you, I believe in you, and I'm gonna push you as much as I can. And I believe in you, and I'm rising, and as I rise, we rise. So together we rise, and know that that little black boy from the hood, who's
Hmm.
now a grown man, you will get your awards. You will get the shine that you deserve. Why? Because you have stayed authentic. You have not retaliated against people. You have
Mm-mm.
not fed into the emotional BS, right?
Mm-mm.
So know that, have the faith and the confidence that you will get everything that's coming to you. Everything that's for you will be yours because,
Hmm.
bro, like I said, not only it's not just that your food tastes great, it's that you are great. It's that the energy you
Thank
put
you.
into it, the love you put
Thank
into it, the time, the dedication you put in to learning these different dishes and being able to make them in a way that reminds people of their childhood,
you.
that reminds people of their parents, of their grandparents. Yo, my grandmother used to make this. How you make it taste like the same and it's
Hmm.
vegan? Right. So the fact that you do that is humanity is rooting for you. There's always going to be a few people who are snakes in the grass who want to bite and jump away real quick, who want to come get and leave. Those people are serving a purpose to remind us that it's okay, right? Some
Right.
things lose, but it's about, can we keep our integrity in spite of, right?
Hmm.
Can we keep our composure in spite of, and can we remember our faith? And our faith tells us that whatever's for me will be mine,
Hmm.
right? Like the universe is working in my favor, right? I am one with the divine, I am one with God. And so, like,
Hmm.
what's meant for me is for me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. And so
Yes,
I
sir.
want to remind you of that, right? That you are
Hmm.
really, again, it's not, I can't say it enough, is when I ate your food 2 times so far, right? I can feel your energy in the food. I can feel that this brother not only loves cooking, he loves serving people, right? Because that's different, right? You can love cooking, but not really love communicating with people.
Hmm.
But
I
you
love
love,
people.
exactly. So talk about that. Where did that love come from? Where did your love for people come from? Did that start young? You know, being around your mom, your parents, did that develop as you got older? Where did your love for people and serving people in as many ways as you can, where did that come from?
From not being loved.
Mm,
Yeah, from not being loved. I remember hugging my mom and she would push me off of her, and it's like a lot of Caribbean parents, they don't know how to love their children and
yep,
because they wasn't loved. And
yep,
even though she pushed me away till today, I'm 40 years old, I still go and grab my mom and hug her,
of course.
kiss her because just because you didn't give it to me, I still wanted to give it. So I started giving it to the world. I started smiling at people. I started, when I remember like I was taking care of somebody and they said to me, you're worth more than 1 million.
You are.
And she just looked at me and I was like, what you mean? And she was like, your kindness and your aura. I never seen that. And this took me years to get like this. I had to humble myself. And in order, there's a lot of people out here that say, we're chefs, but do you know how to serve the people?
Yep.
Do you know how to connect with the people? Do you understand the food that you're giving them? Do you read your nutritional facts? Are you telling people? Are you educating people? If I give somebody something, I'm doing it for a reason. If I give somebody curry chicken, I say, hey, curry chicken is good for you because it has turmeric in it and black pepper, which
Mhm,
relieves inflammation.
yep.
And the black pepper is actually what activates um, the curcumin and the turmeric. So people don't know those things. I not only make these recipes and cook for people, but I research. Why do I research? Because I've been through it.
Mhm,
I remember suffering from IBS. I remember, releasing parasites in the toilet and feeling sick and understanding that, There's a lot of things that we eat. Like if you ever go to a restaurant, right, and you eat spicy food, like for instance, if a Puerto Rican goes to the restaurant and they get a bunch of pork, right, fried pork, what do they give you? They give you some type of like cabbage that's
Yep.
spicy, right?
Yep.
The reason they're doing that is for the spice to eliminate the parasites, even though
Oh,
it doesn't, because it's inevitable, right? But these are why they do that. That a lot of Caribbeans, African dishes, they use a lot of pepper, because the pepper, and it has that the pectane that helps the stomach. And then you people notice that when you eat, you're burping because in the stomach we have the microbiomes, and a lot of us don't have enough. There's a name. What's that thing that we have in our stomach? I forgot. Enzymes, right. There's a lot of us that don't have enough enzymes. In order for us to get the enzymes, we have to eat something to nourish the stomach so that the food, when it comes into the stomach, it breaks down. So
yep.
we're not eating our kefir, we're not drinking the kombuchas, we're not taking our probiotics, we're not eating our leafy greens. In order for you to eat a dish, you have to eat at least 70% of your vegetables so
Mhm.
that your stomach can become, you know, right, so that when the food falls into it, it could break it down correctly, and
Yep.
and we get that bile made from the liver and all that. So a
Okay.
lot of us don't know that, and we're chefs. Oh, I'm a chef. Oh, I'm a chef. But do you know what you're feeding people?
They don't know food science. So there's a difference between being a chef and being a food scientist,
Yeah. Yes,
right? Being
sir.
a food scientist and also
Mm-hmm.
being understanding human biology,
Mm-hmm.
right? So those two things, right? We'll be wrapping up soon, brother. Tell us real quick, what are some things you have coming up in the next few days, weeks, months that you're excited about?
Well, I'm excited about meeting you, and you gave me an opportunity. You never even tried my food, and I could have went right to New York, gave you some food that was trash, but thank you for believing in me and seeing through my page and what I drop. I'm also doing a festival due to you,
Okay.
and I'm it's my first festival. I never did this before, so I know I'm gonna kill it. Somebody gave me a platform, and I'm excited. I got my ebook coming out, which is gonna be free for the people. And yeah, I have so much things to come. I wanna like do some type of food tour and go all over like the
Do
thing.
it. Come on, let's
Yeah.
do it. I'm here. Let's figure it out. Let's talk. That's why we got to come over in July for some lunch. I
Yes,
mean,
sir.
we'll all chip in. You'll make something to contribute. We'll all
Yes,
contribute,
sir.
right? And
Yes,
come
sir.
over, spend a couple of hours
Yes,
eating,
sir.
vibing, and let's put that in plan because it's so it's crazy that you mentioned tour, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a tour with you, but prior to meeting you, I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about world vegan tour, right? Like who has the
Mm-hmm.
best vegan food in America. And I was gonna go get a small team and travel, start locally, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, DC.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the best food, then go south, then go Midwest as we get more important, right? But I would love to go on tour with you, bringing your food to
Yes.
different places, right? So let's do that. And before we go, man, if you got some words of inspiration for people, some words of encouragement, some lasting words you would like to leave with whoever views the video, all the people who's gonna watch this video, what are some words you got for us, brother?
What I have to say is that the devil knows your secrets and your
Mm,
inner thoughts. And if you're doing something, just do it. Don't listen to those thoughts. Sometimes if you get in good thoughts, those are the good ones. The negative ones are not the good ones. The one telling you to do something against your will is not the good ones.
mm,
And when he knows that, when he knows what your next move is, that can kill your dream. Never stop moving forward, never stop dreaming. If you want to do something, just do it. Anybody watching this video, I came from nothing, and now I'm on a path of becoming some of one of the most successful vegan chefs soon. In the eyes of the people, and
yes,
just
sir.
showing people what to eat and how to eat. It's not and being it's not only about being vegan too. It's also about understanding that stress does not help. So we need to learn how to de-stress. Are you talking to God? Are you meditating? Are you drinking your water? Are you breathing? A lot of us don't breathe. So
Yep.
I just want to say breathe, get grounded, love each other, keep away from the negativity. Negative don't attract positive, and positive don't attract negative. If you're a negative person, you're going to stay with your negative. If you're positive, you're going to stay with the positive. And just be like that. And, stop the hate. Stop back biting people. Stop talking about people. The when I stopped doing certain things, man, I got way better in life.
Yep.
And then like you, I feel like you're a good energy and a positive person. And if I was a negative frequency, we would have never
No,
been able
no.
to align. So just be positive, and if you're negative, there's something that happened to you as a child or something that happened to you. Go into that and sit down, think about what it is and see how you can fix it. Because again, I wasn't always this person, but because I didn't receive love, I turned it into something else, you
Powerful.
know. And
Yes,
a
sir.
lot of people don't have that. And I think that's a gift that I just got.
It is, yo, brother Chef Abdul, aka Vegan King, Vegan Kings. Thank you so much for your time, for sharing your wisdom, for sharing your journey, for sharing even the personal stuff. I appreciate you. I think everyone who watches this video, I appreciate you. And I look forward to doing more. I look forward to coming to Jersey and doing some videos with you while you cook,
Yeah, yeah,
right? Because that's something I'm really interested in is like food documentaries and like
that's
stuff
it.
like that. So I look forward to connecting with you even deeper. Continuing to build a brotherhood, continuing to build, a bond, man.
That's it.
I love food. I'm a foodie. I consider myself a good cook as well, but you're just on another level. And I look
Yeah.
forward to learning from you, and always giving you credit and not just learning to take it, but learning to be like, yo, Vegan King's got this thing that I learned that like when he's not around, I can make it, but it's his thing. And
Mm-hmm.
like because you can't be everywhere at all times and you can't make food for everybody all the time.
Right.
So it's like I just love you, bro. And
I
thank
love
you
you too, man.
again. Keep being great, and I'll see you in a few weeks.
Thank
Yo,
you, man.
everybody, this is your boy LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston, host of the Sugar Ray Show, wrapping up another phenomenal episode with Chef Abdul, aka Vegan Kings. You heard him say it here. His love for serving people came from not being loved. He was able to turn a negative into a positive, as we all can learn from that, as we all should be doing. Just because you were hurt doesn't mean you have to continue hurting people. Let's
Yes, sir.
break the cycle and let's
Mm-hmm.
continue to use food, particularly plant-based food, as a recipe to build a better world. And as always, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. We all we got, but we all we need. Peace.